Guess what, Joe? My name is Nicky Nunu, and I have a question to propose. Where did all the good people go? I'm actually being very serious. Where did all of the good people go? For those of you that don't know, I'm only 19 years old, but for the past 5 to 6 years of my life, it seems that people around me, and just people in general, are starting to not care. And by not care, I mean people don't care about other people, really. When I was growing up, those around me taught me basic human empathy and why it was one of the most important things to practice in my everyday life. They explained to me that acting empathetically to others wasn't just about treating others how you'd personally want to be treated, but going the extra mile by helping or assisting somebody in a way that they as an individual might need, especially in a way that might make them want to do that and help somebody else in the same exact way. However, a lot of people that I used to be close to, including some that helped raise me, seem to have lost that same empathy that I thought we had in common for the longest time. And with that, I think that I'm starting to understand where a lot of those good people went. Now, I don't want to dumb it down too much, but I'm guessing that a lot of people are more so just keeping their thoughts to themselves. And admittedly, like me, are a little scared and kind of hiding from those harsh conversations with those that lack empathy now. On the other side of that, I think that a lot of people found it easier to adopt a less empathetic mindset and join that group that I just mentioned that I can't even have an honest conversation with because they become so incredibly dishonest with reality by being closed off and selfish. A fairly recent and relevant example of this in my own life involves a classmate that I was friendly with and would, tell jokes to from time to time just to pass time in class. In the short time that I had this classmate, he seemed like an okay person who would just say something, outlandish here and there, but he didn't seem like a bad or selfish person by any means. Now, the class that we had together was a sensitive one, that being Holocaust history. Now, it didn't just cover the Holocaust, but other genocides happening around it, whether it be hundreds of years ago or fairly recent in history. Towards the end of this class, we had a lecture where we covered the current events happening on the Gaza Strip. During this lecture, we went over death tolls, videos, and just a lot of really bad information regarding the killings of innocent civilians there. Now, obviously, after this lecture finished, I felt just absolutely heartbroken. I could not believe the things that I was reading and seeing in class. Now, honestly, I hate to admit this, but sometimes it can be easy to kind of dismiss past tragedies when it feels like the terrible actions abundant within them are stuck in the past with the tragedies themselves. I mean, after all, I had to ask myself, nowadays, who around me, who do I know that would ever be capable of doing such bad things? However, whenever it's made clear that both the actions and tragedies are both still present in today's world, it feels personally gut-wrenching, as I never could have imagined these tragedies possible as a young boy who was being taught the basics of empathy. As these thoughts actively, flooded my head after that class, my classmate I was talking about earlier looked at me. And the moment that I actually made eye contact with him, I just prepared for the worst because I could actively see that his eyes were less demoralized in comparison to my own. But I honestly don't think I could have possibly prepared enough for the question he was about to propose to me. He looked me in my eyes and he actually asked me, why should I care about any of this? I don't know these people, and I don't care about people all the way on the other side of the world. It doesn't affect anything happening around me here. I think that statement and the abhorrent ignorance within it made me recognize something that day. And that's that people actually just do not care anymore. Now, obviously, I hate to say that as a broad generalization of everybody on the earth, but I think that if we stop for just a moment and actually look inward, we might see it to be somewhat true. After all, how many times have I myself come out and publicly complained about any of it? How many times have I been able to stand up for my own beliefs in morality and say firmly, I am not okay with this. I'm not okay with the negligence of others for self-gain. I'm not okay with labeling random homeless people on the street as just not hardworking enough. I'm not okay with random children getting murdered every day or being systematically trained to be ignorant enough to do the same killing themselves one day. I'm not okay with the eradication of any group of people, regardless of the difference between our cultures, our skin, or our geography on the world. I'm not okay with just sweeping child trafficking and sexual assault under the rug for the preservation of an obviously corrupt government. And I am not okay with the lack of basic human empathy that is causing all of these things to happen throughout the world. Now, so many things are just obviously not okay. And yet so few actually stand up and say anything because so many people now lack the empathy to understand that all of it eventually affects all of us. And I think that as the silence that I personally once did contribute to grows louder, these selfish mindsets that exist that continue to destroy community will begin to thrive and flourish and become more powerful than we as a whole people should have ever allowed them to become. And if that fate does unfortunately control what happens with the world one day, the question of will we make it to tomorrow will have an actual definitive answer. And that answer is no. We ruined all of it today. Okay. Done ranting about that for now. I'm sorry if this video caught you off guard or if you weren't expecting it. I was just kind of trying to get thoughts out there that I've had for a while that I figured people around me or anybody watching this video might want to hear or know or just at least give consideration. If you disagree with anything I said in this video or you want to, add on to anything I said or anything in between, please just let me know in the comments. If you hated what I said, dislike the video, just let me know. And if you liked it, like it too. Just, please interact. I want to talk to people about this stuff. It's just pent up. I hate the feeling that I have about humanity as a whole right now. It just feels sucky. It feels really bad. And I don't want to feel that way, but nothing is really making me feel otherwise. So please, if you have anything to contribute, talk to me, talk to anybody in the comments, just, talk about it. But other than that, that's about it for this video. As always, I love my wife, and have a great day.